All right, listen up. Today we're talking about WPS, Worldwide Protective Services. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to our channel. We produce all types of videos about security, contracting, and the military. So in this introduction, I'm going to summarize several key points. We're going to talk about what is WPS, the history of WPS, the organization, the training, the equipment, the requirements, the difference between DoD and DOS, the pros, the cons, and the opinion, and lastly, the locations of the contracts. What is WPS? WPS is defined as Worldwide Protective Services, also known as WPS, which is pronounced WIPS, is a program through which contract security services are provided to the U.S. Department of State, known as DOS, falling under the Diplomatic Security Services Office of Overseas Protective Operations, OPO. The WIPS Directorate allows for highly trained and experienced professionals to support the American diplomatic mission in security, training, and intelligence roles. WIPS has 3 levels. It has Level 3, Level 2, and Level 1. Levels 3 and 2 are with the Department of State. Level 1, which is more elite, if you would say, is with DOS, IC, and OGA. WPS 1 is also called Worldwide Personal Protective Services. History. WPS is currently in its 3rd iteration, WPS 3. The program as we know it took form in the outset of GWOT, when the intelligence community, State Department, and other government agencies needed close protection as they conducted operations in combat and contingency zones. Under WPS 2, the sole client became the State Department, and it remains the case today. Organization. The bulk of contractors under WPS are Certified Protective Security Specialists, PSS, organized into Mobile Security Elements or Protective Security Details, PSDs, and their supporting Quick Reaction Forces, QRF. Attached to these units are Designated Defense Marksmen, DDM, linguists, and paramedics. They operate under varying degrees of visibility profiles, which are dependent on their principal mission and atmosphere. On certain task orders where static security requires similar professionalism, emergency response teams, K-9 guards, senior guards are posted. WPS contractors also take on an active role in mission planning and operational support, such as Operations Security Specialists, OSS, and Operations Chiefs, PSOC. Coordinating and communicating efforts on a strategic level, armors are responsible for the inventory, issuing, maintenance of equipment and weapon systems. Research analysts and PSS monitor various open source channels to provide expertise in the creation of reports alongside other intelligent entities. Finally, WPS provides high-level training through its own instructors on a manner of subjects, as well as overseeing sustainment and recertification cycles. All are based out of diplomatic posts such as embassies and consulates, although some task orders allow their contractors to live in company-provided housing on the economy. Training and equipment. All training is conducted in Amman, Jordan, as part of the state standardization process. The courses are tailored to the particular requirements of a given position, but are nonetheless part of an all-encompassing curriculum that equips individuals with skills, knowledge, and proficiencies. The basic PSS course is approximately 42 days and includes, but is not limited to, CQB, PRS, small unit tactics, night ops, motorcade operations, defensive driving, vehicle dynamics, principal and hostage recovery, tactical combat, casualty care, mission planning, opposition force capabilities, tactical communication systems, CBRNE, embassy organization and operations, use of force policies, land navigations, as well as many other subjects. Other positions within WPS, as well as additional certifications, will result in varied training times and curriculum. Weapons, platforms, and implements include the MK-18, Glock 19, M249 SAW, the 240 Bravo, AKM, the M203, and Stinger grenades. Although additional training filmation may include based on the task order and operator's role, equipment includes low and high-profile plate carriers, high-cut ballistic helmets, and PVS-14 night vision, IFACs, and aid bags. Requirements. Typically, to enter WIPs, an individual must have 3 years of applicable experience for their desired role, as well as 1 year of that experience being operational in a high-threat environment. This varies from position to position, such as a DDMs need 2 years of operational experience and accredited training certificate prior to applying. The State Department, as well as the company one applies to, must approve of an applicant's experience before they enter the hiring process. Note that some task orders even require prior WIPs experience. Prior to attending training, applicants must pass an extensive medical examination and background check for a State Department clearance. Furthermore, they must submit proof of their ability to pass a physical readiness test, PRT. The PRT scores are dependent on age and sex, but this level of fitness must be maintained throughout the duration of one time on contract. The test consists of timed push-ups, sit-ups, and a 1.5-mile run. Early in the training cycle, applicants must also pass graded shooting qualifications on the MK-18, Glock 19, M249 Saw, and 240 Bravo. At some point during one's time at Amman, a trainee will also have to pass a psychological assessment. DoD versus DOS. Compared to the Department of Defense, the DoD, the State Department has a relatively high bar of entry, with strict definitions of what they deem as acceptable experience and qualifications. However, this comes with a significant increase in pay as well as contractual rotations. WIPS contractors have a 3-to-1 rotation. Typically, this is 105 days of work followed by 35 days off. This is a task order dependent. Furthermore, time spent on WIPs is universally recognized as high threat time, whereas many DoD contracts are not. WIPS contractors are actively conducting missions beyond the safety of a perimeter. In practice, a WIPS contractor is operating as a paramilitary protective agent, lending credence and legitimacy to their resume for future prospects. While WIPS is a viable career in and of itself, it has also opened doors for upper-tier executive protection special programs. Pros, cons, and opinion. So on the pro side, you'll get a lot of pay, and I mean a lot of pay. On the lower end, maybe $85K, but usually around $100K, but most definitely in most cases, you'll get paid more than $100K. You get the rotational vacations, so that's, several months on, 1 month off, several months on, 1 month off. This will allow you to build up your resume, make you look really good. You get lots of good training with WIPs. And it's a really good long-term career option if you want to get into the contract business and work there for several years, or if not a couple of decades. You will make a lot of money, a lot of connections and network, and get some really, really good training. And so with all this training and experience, it will build up your resume and it will build up your character. Now on the con side, there's a high bar of entry. So you really have to be experienced and well-trained in order to get into WIPs. So you're going to have to spend several years in a combat MOS in the military, or like a decade as a police officer, and then you just have to hope that you get combat experience while you're serving. And now when you fail a test, the wait time can be a very long time, like months or up to a year. So if you fail the course, you get kicked out, and you get rehired, it's going to take more time. So be prepared for that, train hard, and hopefully you succeed. Now the clients that you work for, not all of them are versed on military language and military culture. They might do stuff that you do not like, and you're going to have to deal with it. That's the demand of the job. And then lastly is that at times, the job can be very, very hectic and demanding. Like you work long hours, and there's high risk at some point. You go outside the embassy, there's IEDs and insurgents. So be prepared for that. It's a high risk, but there's a high reward. Here I want to show you one of the opinions of one of our members called Brandon. He's over in the Middle East currently, and he says, in my spot, it's cushy. There are paved roads, sports events, and pool right outside called Dick Beach. Overall, the experience has been better than expected. Everyone is nice and helpful. Every week, the company offers range time for pistol and rifle to improve your skills. And on your time off, you have access to the gyms, the PX, the ranges, sports, and even martial art classes. Known WPS locations. Now, there are several WPS locations that we know of. There's probably several that are secret, and there's probably a couple more that we have not found in our research. But the ones that we know are Iraq, Israel, Central African Republic, Ukraine, Somalia, South Sudan, and Qatar. And these pictures here on the right are related to these countries I just listed. So there's many beautiful locations that you can work at, and there's many locations that are very dangerous. Well, guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching and learning about WPS. If you are interested in joining Arete, look at the email down below. Send us a quick message there, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. If you really like this video, like it and subscribe to the channel, because we're going to produce more content in the future about security, the military, and contracting. All right, guys? I hope you have a wonderful day, and remember, you are the real heroes.